once synonymous with Hollywood magic, became a headline for scandal, controversy, and courtroom spectacle. In a world where public opinion spreads faster than truth, his personal life became entertainment. His pain became memes. His legacy became a debate. But behind the viral clips and public arguments, there was a deeper story about an artist fighting not just accusations, but erasure. This is the journey of Johnny Depp, from global superstar to cancellation, to one of the most unexpected comebacks in Hollywood history. Johnny Depp was not born famous. He wasn't groomed for the spotlight. He didn't grow up dreaming of Hollywood. He was just a kid from Kentucky. Quiet, sensitive, always moving from place to place. His family relocated so often that by the time he turned 15, he had lived in 20 different homes. He once said, "I felt like I never fit in anywhere." His escape was music. At 16, he dropped out of high school to pursue it. He played in local bands, chasing passion, not glory. He slept on friends' couches. He barely had enough money to eat. And then fate intervened. Actor Nicolas Cage met him through mutual friends and suggested he try acting. Depp didn't think he had what it took. Cage insisted. Johnny auditioned and booked a role on his very first try, A Nightmare on Elm Street. He went from struggling musician to Hollywood actor almost overnight. But the breakthrough that changed everything was 21 Jump Street. Suddenly, he was a teen idol, plastered on magazine covers, posters on teenage bedroom walls. But Johnny hated every second of it. He didn't want to be a heartthrob. He wanted to be an artist. And so he walked away from safe, leading man roles, and instead chose characters Hollywood considered too weird or too risky. Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. These weren't commercial choices. They were emotional ones. Johnny Depp wasn't just acting. He was building a legacy, one misfit character at a time. In 2003, Disney developed a pirate movie based on a theme park ride. Executives expected a charming, heroic captain. Johnny Depp had other plans. He created someone unpredictable, chaotic, charismatic. Jack Sparrow walked like a drunken rock star and spoke in riddles. Disney executives panicked. Is he drunk? Is he playing it funny? Is something wrong with him? But audiences understood what the studio couldn't. Johnny Depp wasn't playing a pirate. He was the pirate. Pirates of the Caribbean became a global phenomenon. The franchise crossed the billion-dollar threshold. Jack Sparrow became a cultural icon. Johnny Depp became one of the highest-paid actors in the world, earning over $20 million per film. He had reached the peak. But the higher the rise, the farther the fall. Behind all the success, the red carpets, the quirky interviews, Johnny Depp was struggling. In 2017, he sued his business managers, claiming they mismanaged his money. They countersued, alleging reckless spending. Headlines mocked his lifestyle. News outlets framed him as irresponsible and unstable. He became tabloid material, not for talent, but for chaos. And then came the moment that would change the course of his entire life. His marriage collapsed. Amber Heard filed for divorce in 2016. Days later, she appeared in court with a mark on her face. The world reacted instantly. Accusations were made, opinions were formed. Hollywood turned its back on Johnny Depp in record time. Without a trial, without evidence presented, he was declared guilty in the court of public opinion. The studios pulled contracts. He was dropped from Fantastic Beasts. Pirates of the Caribbean went silent. Johnny Depp, one of the most beloved actors on earth, was now toxic. In 2018, Amber Heard wrote an opinion piece for The Washington Post where she identified herself as a survivor of domestic abuse. She didn't mention Johnny by name, but the implication was unmistakable. Johnny Depp sued her for defamation, $50 million. Amber countersued him for $100 million. What followed was not just a legal battle. It became the most watched trial of the decade. For 6 weeks, the world tuned in. Celebrities testified. Text messages were read aloud. Audio recordings were played. The public didn't just watch, they analyzed. Clips from the courtroom turned into internet memes. TikTok flooded with fans lip-syncing testimony. Live streams pulled in millions of viewers. Never in history had a courtroom trial become a global event. Johnny shared painful memories of abuse in his childhood. He insisted that Amber was physically and verbally aggressive toward him. Amber testified that Johnny abused her. She presented photos, witness statements, and messages. Their relationship, toxic and volatile, was exposed to the world. But the trial was no longer just about the truth. It was about perception. For the first time in years, Johnny Depp wasn't just a headline. He was a human being, speaking his truth. On June 1st, 2022, the jury reached a verdict. Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp. He was awarded compensatory and punitive damages. He didn't win everything. He didn't need to. He won back something more valuable, his name. After the trial, Hollywood expected Johnny to return with noise. Instead, he returned with silence. He didn't run back to blockbuster films. He didn't chase validation. He went to France. He took a role in the film Jean de Barry. It opened the Cannes Film Festival. When the movie ended, the audience rose to their feet. They applauded. For 7 minutes. Some cried. Some screamed his name. Johnny stood there, overwhelmed. Not as a pirate, not as a scandal, as an artist. Around that time, Dior offered him a massive new contract, reportedly the biggest fragrance deal ever given to a male celebrity. The same industry that abandoned him now wanted him back. But Johnny Depp had changed. He no longer needed Hollywood's approval. Johnny Depp didn't return to acting because he needed the work. He returned because he chose to. He went back to music, to painting, to the passions he had before the fame, before the chaos. He toured with guitarist Jeff Beck. Fans sold out arenas, not for Jack Sparrow, but for Johnny. He spoke softly in interviews, with gratitude rather than bitterness. I don't need Hollywood. I just need peace. After a life spent performing characters, he was finally learning to just be Johnny. Johnny Depp will forever remain a paradox. To some, he is a flawed man. To others, he is a survivor. He lost films. He lost years of his career. He lost privacy, dignity, and peace. But he didn't lose himself. He fought for the one thing nobody can give him and nobody can take away: truth. Johnny Depp didn't come back for revenge. He came back for redemption. And in the end, he won.